Hey, Don.
Hey, Bob.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I'm Bob Labba with Emerson Climate Technologies, and we're today with Dawn Sullivan, the Senior Product Manager for Browning Belts and Shivs. And what we want to learn today is a little bit about shivs and how they affect the efficiency of a piece of equipment.
Sure.
So why don't we get started?
Absolutely, Bob. Many people are unaware just how much efficiency loss can be in a drive. It's easy to have 5% or more loss in efficiency with worn shivs. If you look at this shiv here, Bob, this is a worn shiv. There's about 1/32 inch of wear on this, and if you feel these grooves, you'll actually feel ridges in there.
Mm-hmm.
As a shiv wears and the belt runs through there, it's just like water over a rock over time, and eventually erodes that material. As it wears, the belt rides lower and lower in the groove. And what you end up with are rough sides, and then the belt is not getting full engagement with the sidewall of that shiv. And it leads to slip, which generates heat, which accelerates belt failure. And then you start replacing belts pretty frequently. So a lot of times when you talk with a technician, they'll say, hey, I'm going through a lot of belts on a shiv. One of the first things we have them do is check those shivs for wear to see if there's more than 1/32 inch of wear on those.
So that can mean a lot of problems.
Yeah, and again, easily 5% or more if you see a shiv. And although they look good installed, when you actually feel those grooves, and you can take a straight edge or one of our Browning groove gauges and put right in there and measure that 1/32 of an inch very, very easily.
Is it routine for a contractor to check a shiv? And
some, yes. A more experienced technician will understand that that's a critical aspect. The frequency of preventive maintenance, though, is typically a belt change. They go in, they change the belt. They'll look at filters, other things in preventive maintenance cycles. But you have to be kind of disciplined to make sure you check the shivs each and every time. Typically, these last 5 to 7 years.
Okay. Well, now I see you have a whole bunch of different types of shivs today. So what is it we're going to learn about these shivs?
Okay, a couple different types here, Bob. What we have here are shivs that give you a fixed speed. So if you were to mount these shivs with your bushings onto a shaft, say one on the motor, one on the driven side, on the fan side, for example, you'd get a fixed speed. It would be a constant speed.
Okay.
We have what we call variable pitch shivs. And a variable pitch shivs has a male and a female. Our 1 and 2 VP series like this, you have a threaded barrel. There's a flat at 180 degrees from this one. And what happens is this female disc goes on, and you can adjust anywhere in between here, and you tighten down your set screw on one of those flats.
So that locks it into the speed.
That locks it into a specific speed. And to start your adjustment, you start from a closed position. So you take this shiv all the way down, and to desire a speed, you would back it off a number of turns. So if you were to calculate in our catalog or call for assistance or contact a manufacturer, they would tell you on that specific drive you need to go 3.5 turns open from a closed position to get your desired speed.
Oh, okay.
So you would start in the closed position, you'd go 3.5 turns, you'd tighten it down. What's unique about Browning shivs is we land on the flats, meaning when you tighten up our shiv, that set screw, when it's in the closed position, that set screw is right there on a flat.
Okay.
So you can get exactly 3.5 turns like we just talked about. Or it might be 4 turns or even 5 turns. A lot of our competitors, if you look at those, you tighten them to the closed position, look where that set screw's at.
Yeah.
Right on the threads.
Right on the thread.
And you can't tighten up on the threads or you'll damage your shiv. So what you have to do is compensate for that, then come back to a flat. What you end up with is not the same speed that you had before. Now, why is speed important? Well, on an air handling system, for example, you're wanting to move a certain amount of air. On a shiv like this, you're locked to a specific speed. Well, sometimes when a unit's installed, they estimate what amount of airflow that they're going to need, but it may need a little bit less or a little bit more. So the first thing a technician will do is go up and adjust that shiv to either speed up the drive or slow down the drive, and you can do that. As you open this, belt will drop, the speed will decrease. As you tighten it, belt rides higher in the groove, the drive will increase in speed. So it's very easy to do that. It's also done for resonance. If you got an excess of noise in a room, sometimes you can go up, make a few adjustments, and correct resonance issues by simply adjusting the speed by a half turn.
Man, this gives them a lot of flexibility then.
A lot of flexibility. You'll see other or distinguishing things about our shivs too. Thread tolerance. You pick up a lot of competitor shivs, and you can just open them, and you can hear the two halves rattling together. When you open a Browning shiv, the thread tolerances are very, very tight. A lot of features and benefits with the paint, our casting design with our vortex design, and our larger sizes, you can even run 5x horsepower in these. So, great products, something that's very commonly replaced. Usually when there's motor maintenance, these are almost exclusively on motors. These will always be a high replacement item. So, an opportunity to make sure in your preventive maintenance schedule that you include shivs for wear, even on the larger ones that look like they're in fine shape. You want to measure those, make sure that you have no more than 1/32 inch of wear. You want to replace anytime you have a shiv that's not landing on the flat, so you get your precise adjustment.
Okay. Well, this is some great stuff, and I guess this is an opportunity for wholesalers and contractors to either make sure that they have an efficient system or may possibly correct the problem.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate your time. I mean, this is great. Thank you. And we thank you for joining us on this edition of Taking It to the Streets.